In a couple seconds once everything's up. Um, let's get started in 3, 2, and 1. Hello and welcome. It's the Wise Guys Podcast. I'm your host, Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host, Chris Hagan.
How you guys doing?
Feeling 6-0, Chris. That's how we're feeling. Um, you got a shout from the treetops whenever we go a perfect week. We the Wise picks, of course, 6-0 on the board. It was Sunday morning. Hopefully you had your time to get it. We did it before the London game even, so you should have had plenty
Yep,
of
they
time
were
to
on
see it on
Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah, should have had plenty of time to see it on Instagram. A couple of my friends did text me and said that they've won. They bet both of ours separately in two different ones, so they were happy by 3 p.m. They were the first. I didn't realize I had all 1 p.m. games, and that was good to go by 3 o'clock. So I guess besides maybe the Eagles one was a little hairy at the end, but anyways, we'll get into all the picks. We'll get into I'm glowing too. I feel bad, Chris, because I'm like NBA's back. My Pats are doing well. The picks are doing well. Um, and the only bummer is what we talked about before the stream is your football team, but we'll get into them. We'll get into them soon. We'll let you wait.
It's okay. You don't have to apologize for being happy. It's
Thanks,
okay.
Chris. You should be happy too with your picks. It's all right. All right, let's get right into it. We can go anywhere because all we got is winners. So, um, I'll take an easy one. Pats, they were down a little hairy. It was looking like a trap game in the first quarter, and then that was it. Then the game was over. Drake May, he had 2 incompletions all game. Ramondre played well. Drake May also ran the ball pretty well. He has such a good mentality for a quarterback where they told him about his completion percentage. He broke the Pats single game record for completion percentage. And he was like, "Oh, I messed up on like I shouldn't have ran as much. Should have been able to find the open spot in those." And I was like, he's just like he's never like
Yeah,
and he's
constant
never
perfectionist.
yeah, he's always trying to improve. Um Cam Ward had a bad fumble where it looked like he just dropped the ball. They they couldn't get anything going anywhere besides that first drive. Um, so yeah, that was wrapped up pretty quickly in the second quarter. But yeah, it's 6.5. They proved that yet again they can beat up on a bad team. They're going to be playing a lot of bad teams the rest of the year. So the Pats spread, and as long as it stays low, I'm already liking the Browns spread. I don't think it's anywhere. I think it's still like 6.5. So
That's what I see, 6.5.
I think
At home, too.
yeah, I know. People aren't believing in the Pats yet, that they can blow out these types of teams. And, eventually one's going to come and bite me in the ass. But I think for now,
Yeah, I mean, while you're winning, though,
yeah, I think while it's
like,
hot, we got to strike.
taken them 3 times, and they've won each time, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Actually, and the
Um,
Bills got him for the Bills game, too.
yeah, I got him at +2.5 week 2, +8.5 week 5, and then -6.5 week 7. So,
Oh, we didn't take him in the Saints game?
no, we didn't.
Okay.
No, we did not. We could have. I should have
Regardless.
done that instead of Broncos -7.5 in London. Um, but yeah, so let's keep striking while the iron's hot with the Pats. Um, and we'll get to Wise picks, of course, on Friday or whenever we do it, because I'll be away. But we'll get there then. Chris,
I,
what's your? Oh,
completely
okay.
forgot that last thing on this game, we didn't even mention in the preview that it was Vrabel's first game back in Tennessee. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
that should have been a fact. He was not going to back into that building that he got shoot out of and, like, lay a stinker.
No, yeah, he wasn't. I guess you're right. I didn't mention that on the pod. Um, if you, it felt like it was all over the place. But it did there was a lot of the locker room afterwards was very excited for Vrabel. Drake May had this speech about
Mhm.
how We love having you as a coach. They gave him the game ball. It was cool to see. He has this whenever he does the press conference, he talks to Teresa, one of the only woman Tennessee reporter. And I think like there was a story on ESPN about how he does that, and like I think he went and saw her or something, or I don't know if the press conference would have the Tennessee reporters there. It should have the Pats ones, but he addressed something with her as well. So it's like he brought back his roots there.
Mm.
Um, yeah, that I mean, he's got to stick it like that. Ownership already fired the next guy who replaced him, so like he's gotta get his revenge. He was on the Browns last week or last year too, so he was like a not a coordinator, but like an assistant for him. So another double revenge game. Let's just keep it coming. Um, so yeah, I like
Agree.
that was great. That was great to see as well. What winner you want to go to, Chris?
Let's get the Brownies out of the way.
Yeah.
Um, I made the pick. Definitely did not expect this, but I did feel like the smartest guy in the world having my
Oh,
name next to the
yeah.
Browns on
I was
Instagram.
I was so happy.
Because I don't think anybody saw this coming. I My prediction about McDaniel getting fired doesn't seem like it's gonna come through this week at least. He's made it last Monday, so I'm sure he's fine. Like you said, I think you said on the pod recently that it seems like the owner likes him, so maybe not even gonna make a move this year, which seems kind of ludicrous because I think him and Tua have both completely lost this team, and like the fact that Tua had the press conference last week where he was calling out the teammates with the players only meeting to come out and throw three
3 interceptions.
interceptions, barely cracked 100 yards, and Quinn Ewers finishing the game is this is rock bottom, right? Like,
It's the
and
worst
the
possible
Browns suck.
outcome.
The Browns haven't scored like 2 touchdowns in probably 2 years. Um, and they just run it down their throat. Like, don't really need Dylan Gabriel to do much. Just take advantage of the turnovers and play defense. And very easy formula for her beating the Dolphins right now.
It was it was just like there wasn't even it's not like they dominated yardage wise. The Dolphins actually had more total yards. It was
Mhm.
just they had short fields the whole time because of the interceptions, and they had 5 fumbles. Only 1 was recovered by the Browns, but they had 5 total fumbles on the game. It was, uh, it was embarrassing. I mean, they were putting Quinshawn Judkins they had him in Wildcat twice, and he scored 2 touchdowns based off the Wildcat formation. It seemed like it was raining, that Dylan Gabriel did not they didn't want him to throw it. We said if he threw for 2 times, they'd lose the game, and he didn't even crack 20.
He could have thrown
Quin
0, and I think
Yeah,
they still.
I think you're right. And, they gave Judkins 25 carries. They just said, "Keep pounding it." They got a pick 6 at one point. It was an ass whooping, and I don't think any stats like, the Dolphins were, I think, 1 of 13 on 3rd down, if I'm correct. Maybe yeah, 1 for 13 on 3rd down. It was, it was just an embarrassing game for a team that was once such a great offense, and it's very sad to see where this has gone because, like, the quote last week was bad, but it seems like Tua's a nice guy. He was the face of
Mhm.
this concussion stuff where everyone then felt bad for him and was like every time he played, it was like you had to watch him with your eyes closed because you don't want to see him get hit. And now you watch him with your eyes closed because he freaking stinks. Like he just sucks. Um, the I mean, there's I think him and McDaniels are both got to be gone by the end of the year.
Yep.
And I don't know, he'll be a backup somewhere because that's how it always ends up. But
He's
I don't
got
even.
years left on his deal, right? Like, I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know.
he's got a ton of money.
I don't know how easy the out is. It might be easy.
Let
Look at
me.
his
I'll look up the
spot
dead
cap.
cap. All right, you got it going.
Yeah, I
I
can.
mean, they could go to Zach. Like, do you go to Quinn Ewers? It's funny. It's funny that they went to Quinn Ewers instead of Zach Wilson, which is now we're getting to like niche backup quarterback. rankings, but like,
That isn't it. I didn't even think about that. I always forget that they have Zach Wilson.
yeah, and like I don't know. I would have liked to see what Zach Wilson could do out there. I guess they also probably would like to see what Quinn Ewers could do out there, so it makes sense. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Zach
yeah. I mean,
Wilson, I feel like this is the second to last stop, or like the next stop. If it's in the right situation, then he's having his like. If
his
he's ever
Darnold
gonna have a
moment.
Darnold Baker
Daniel
turnaround, it's
Jones.
got to be Daniel Jones. Yeah,
He's got it. Well, he has to pass through the Vikings. He has to pass through the Vikings
yeah. I mean,
or the
he needs
Rams.
JJ to get healthy and just completely wrap down his leg,
Yeah, he he needs to pass through
or
the
the
Vikings or
Niners.
the Rams or the
I mean,
Niners.
Mac's not letting go
Yep.
of that back
Oh,
job.
yeah. Max gonna be there. He's fighting every time Purdy stubs his toe. Max gonna be right around the corner. It's
Okay, they have a potential
it's really
out
bad.
to back to Tua.
Yeah.
They're on the hook next year. The dead cat would be 99 million.
Holy crap.
Um, but then they have an out where they can only take a $34 million hit and they get out of the rest of the deal, which
I mean,
is
what was wasn't Russell Wilson like that was like $80 million they just ate, right? From cutting him.
yeah, it was definitely more than 34. 34 is far like this is a
Oh,
$200
that's
million
easy.
contract. So, like
Yeah,
34
34 is nothing.
is chump change. That's probably how much the cap's going to go up by.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
So
nothing. And for
I,
a team that's gonna have either a rookie quarterback or Zach Wilson as their quarterback, it's not gonna be a problem to try to fill out the rest of the team. They just need a lot of pieces. I mean, it was funny. I saw a mock draft. It was like maybe 2, 3 weeks ago, right after Tua got injured, and they had the Dolphins taking a wide receiver, and some Dolphins fan retweeted it and was like, if the Dolphins take a wide receiver, like I'm just gonna quit. I'm gonna find a new team. Like I just I need to find a new team. Um, which is also kind of funny to think about because they are kind of running low on weapons. Where they just have Waddle. I mean, Nick Westbrook, Akina. They got uh, Malik Washington. They used a lot of. I mean, a lot of. He had 2 catches. Eskridge. So maybe they. I mean, I don't think they should take one in the first round. They have a lot more problems, but it is. It's a mess of a team. It is an absolute mess of a team.
I will say, at least it'll be like, at least what it should be is a tear it down to the studs
Yeah.
rebuild.
Yeah, they need to flip Bradley Chubb for whatever value he has, like now, like right
Yeah.
before the trade deadline.
I mean,
Um,
like, obviously hindsight's 2020, but if you could trade a Tyreek Hill and gotten a pick out of that, like that would have been big.
yeah.
Waddle could be on the move, I guess.
Apparently, they're looking for a
Even
first for
AJ
Waddle. I think Matt Byers is running their offense. Um, but basically,
Brown went
anyone with a
straight up
pulse, they
for
should
first,
trade.
so yeah. Yes.
It's an ugly team, a very ugly team. Um,
Yeah, I would also like to, before we can move on from this game afterwards, but I'd like to walk back my take from a couple weeks ago about where I had ranked them as far as the bottom 5 teams. I think if we were to revisit that ranking, they might be 31 or 32.
yeah, they're close to the bottom. It's those Jets Dolphins games that we saw on. We already saw one on Monday night. There's going to be one more. It should be at 2 in the morning. It should not be anywhere near prime time. Um, what 2 awful teams. And it's funny, like not to bring it back to the Pats, but to bring it back to the Pats. These teams were supposed to be decent. They were supposed to be on the rise, especially the Dolphins. I actually was kind of nervous about them going into the season a little bit, and it seems like it's back to the good old days when they are just no threat whatsoever and awful. So,
They had like a 5-year stretch where the Patriots were a total non-factor,
yep,
and they're worse off now than they were 5 years ago
yep.
by a wide margin. I guess the Jets were picking second the draft 5 years ago. 'Cause that's when they got Zach Wilson.
It's true.
So, sorry.
That's true, but they ran through the Roger saga already. I mean, like this. They've already gone through everything, it seems like. And we'll get speaking of the New York Jets, I had the Panthers -1.5. That was with Bryce Young being out. I mean, the Jets couldn't produce any offense. I was gonna say it got a little scary, but it really didn't. Um, the I mean, Justin Fields. I have Justin Fields in a fantasy league, and I was like, this is it. This is his shot because like the Broncos defense, I
Mhm.
get it. He can get no
It's
points.
London, so
Yeah, it's in London, and it's like against a really good defense, and it's
yeah.
like this Panthers defense, like it's been playing better, but it's nowhere near good. So it's put up or shut up time, and he shut his ass up. Like he's gone. He's out of here. And in real life he might be out of here too. It might be Tyrod Taylor the rest of the way. He
Yep.
didn't look good either. This is a this is another team that just tear it down. I mean, Brees Hall. Um, I guess you try to trade Garrett Wilson. Like I don't know what you do with him.
I don't know, but you need there's gonna be another quarterback in this room that it would be very helpful to have Garrett Wilson still here.
Agreed.
I just don't understand how their offensive line is never good. Like, it feels like they're every couple years, they're, like, investing heavily in the offensive line, and it's always ass.
Yeah, it's a good question. Um, did you read or did you hear the Pardon My Take? PFT was reading off uh Aaron Glenn's defenses from the Lions.
Yeah.
It was like
Bad.
it was like 30 second, like 22, like 19, like it didn't even sniff 15, top 15, and he and
He's so I did always think that that was odd that he was such a hot candidate, but he's a culture guy. Like, he's not like, you're not bringing him in there because you know you're gonna have a top 10 defense every year. Like, I think the idea is this guy was Dan Campbell's right-hand man. Like, he's gonna inspire us.
I guess so.
17
I mean, and
children.
that's a good way to spin it.
Dan
Um,
Campbell started, like, 0
he
and
did 0 and
20,
yeah, yeah, he was like 0 and 6, I think, maybe 0 and
but
7.
could not win games.
That is
He
true.
tried, 'cause
And I don't think you fire Aaron Glenn. Like I think unless you go 0 and
yeah.
17, like that's because then you're just running it back again. But they gave Justin Fields $20 million this offseason. A year, 2 years. They have him for 20 million
I
next
mean, in
year.
quarterback money, that's, like, basically nothing. Tua is making over twice of that,
Well,
and
yeah, that's true.
if you put Tua on the
But
Jets,
Tua was good for a year or two. Like that's like
I
Justin
guess,
Fields
yeah.
was never good.
It wasn't like yeah. In theory, he could be good.
Yes, he's the perfect in theory quarterback. But yeah, anyways, Carolina Panthers, they're 4-3. Good for the Panthers. Um,
Yeah.
they were also
This
saying
is
on
that
part of
is
my
hard to
take, this
believe
is this
how
is a
much we
game where
buried
you
them.
just you just look at the you just look at the the record. Like we're 4-3, 4-3. Don't look at the score, just
Yep.
look at the record. Yeah, we're just 4-3.
Yep. Well, on the quarterback, like, Bryce Young might be out next week too, so you might have to get back to Andy Dalton for a little bit. Although, that's kinda where everything changed last year for them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, maybe the scheduled turnover will be put to bed after Bryce Young comes back.
yeah.
It was nice. Xavier
The,
Leggett got a touchdown. That was pretty nice. Everyone was writing him
I
off.
did try to I do have a waiver claim in on him in one of my fantasy leagues.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean he had 24 points. I had freaking Debo Samuel. I was golfing, so I had Debo Samuel out there instead of him, and then it was too late to switch. I really thought he was gonna play, which
Yeah,
what?
you got double cocks
Oh
on
yeah,
your
yep. I got double
receiving
Cox. Yeah,
receiving room.
it's a dynasty too. I was like, I gotta make sure I got both of them on there. I think I traded for Debo though, because I
Wait,
I
in
was
our
flipping around
dynasty?
receivers.
Or
No, a different one.
okay, I
I
didn't
was
think
flipping
so.
around on I had like T Higgins and I had Drake London and then it's a good team, but I got Debo in there somehow. Um anyways,
The Bengals are a touchdown favorite against the Jets next week with Joe
with
Flacco
Joe
at quarterback.
Flacco. Oh, Joe Flacco, Tyrod Taylor.
Although, yeah, I don't know if we can say that after the last 2 weeks, but
That is
on
that's hard
principle,
to that's
then,
hard to see.
yeah. I just
I guess if they're gonna
all
beat
right.
anybody, it could be the Bengals, right? Like, you could have an absolute stinker of a Joe game, an absolute but it's funny, I thought their defense even though Rodgers looked really good, I thought their defense played well on that Thursday night game.
Yeah, they played pretty well against the Packers too.
Yeah.
It just felt like you knew they weren't gonna get a stop when you needed it. Like,
Yes.
right when they got back in the game.
Yeah.
Packers march right down to
That's how it was in the Steelers game too. They got early turnovers, and then they were just letting Rodgers do whatever they wanted afterwards.
yeah.
We talked way too much Jets. Just wanted to put that out there. Just wait until we get to basketball, and I do 20 minutes on the Pelicans, and it's 2 hours into the pod. All right,
Alright,
let's go to your next pick. I'm gonna
Niners.
close the door behind me.
I'd, Niners, I think the line was -1.5 against the Falcons. Kind of a snoozer of a Sunday night game. Um, I really don't know how this Niners defense continues to perform at this level. Like, this is just a classic, I feel like, come back to earth game for Atlanta because the Niners had no business slowing down this offense the way that they were playing and with the injuries that they have on defense. Like, they're missing their two best defensive players, and they still held Penix and this offense to 10 points. Um, I don't know if, like, with Penix, if it's just this is kind of who he is right now, where it's kind of a roller coaster ride. Or like one week you're getting the guy that we saw at Washington, and then the next week you're getting the guy that we saw against the Panthers. And obviously he wasn't that bad, he didn't get benched or anything. But they just did not have the same juice on offense. 49ers bottled up Bijan, which basically nobody has been able to do. Um, and we're just kind of in cruise control. And like, I feel like that final drive kind of summed up the whole game where it was, when they needed to take control of this game, they did and just march right down the field. But I don't know, man. There's something about the Niners this year. They're hard to beat.
They're pushing past the year like they are getting hit with a swarm of bad luck, and they are just
Yeah, it
punching
doesn't matter.
through. The yeah, Mac Jones looked good. Um, that interception wasn't his fault. That sucks. It was bounced off Jennings' hands and then into the defender's hands.
Hmm.
Um, he was getting blitzed, which was what I expected, but they could not stop Christian McCaffrey to save their lives. Um,
Yep.
and it seemed like the whole offense was um for the Falcons was suited around Bijan Robinson and what he can do. Um, I mean, Kyle Pitts had a good game. Mooney had a decent game. They couldn't. It's funny with Mooney out there. It's like they can't figure out how to get London and Mooney the ball at the same time. Or I mean, of course not at the same
No.
time, but like during the same game. Like it's either 10 catches for Drake London or they split it between two of them. And you can still give Drake London 10 catches, um, and then just have Mooney have 5 or 6, or maybe even less. Um, so they do have some kinks to figure out still. And what you were saying with the defense, how they had like right at the beginning of the game, they're like Chris Collinsworth is like there's like 5, 6 rookies out there because of all the injuries, and the one linebacker came in with the Fred Warner 48 jersey, and he wears like the rookie right now wears 48, and Fred Warner when he was a rookie wore 48. And when he walked in with that, I was like, oh, the Niners are gonna win this game. Like they just they grow these guys off trees, and I was thinking about that. Like there wasn't like Fred Warner was good prospect going in, but there wasn't like this all pro hype about him coming in, and then he becomes an all pro.
Mhm.
Um, the Tre'Davious Ward, like just a guy out of nowhere. Now he's one of the highest paid cornerbacks for Indianapolis. Um, they just like the safety that went to the Broncos, Drake Greenlaw that went to the Broncos. Like these guys just
Yeah.
come out of the woodworks, and it's because of Saleh. Saleh has a great defensive plan. Um, maybe there's just something in the water over there in San Francisco, but they just grow these guys off trees. And once I saw a 48 walk in, and I don't even know the guy's name. I'm not even gonna lie. Um, his name is Tatum. Oh, look at that. Tatum Bethloom. But 4 tackles right when he walks in the door. Um, yeah, I mean, they're getting product out of Bryce Huff, who was like a throwaway for the Eagles after they signed him.
Yeah,
It's they're just finding these guys and they're playing well. And I feel bad for the Falcons because I still don't think they're bad. They just need to get some sort of rhythm that is not just Bijan break it off
there's
for 80 yards.
totally.
And if you look back at that Bills game, it was like a lot of scoring in the first half, a lot of long plays, 80-yard Bijan touchdown. You had that giant Drake London play, which didn't result in any points, but it was really just like that first couple, like the first drive where they they really methodically moved down the ball, and that's where they need to get. They're great at the big plays. They need to get better at the the day to day plays. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, like if they're not hitting on the big plays, then how are they beating you?
Yes. Yeah, they need to go for some bases instead of home runs, to do a baseball analogy.
There you go.
Um, but yeah, 1.5, it seemed pretty secure. Like they got up 13-10, and that seemed like that was all she wrote. It seemed like the Falcons were not going to be able to push past this defense for the Niners, and ended up getting 10. So that was a good snipe off because that a lot of people were on. I mean, all your picks. A lot of people were on the other team, and that was it's good to see. The closest one that we had to it was Eagles minus 2.5, and I mean the Vikings they gave a pick six. Carson Wentz gave a pick six. He had another interception. Uh, they kind of came back in the third quarter, got a touchdown after a couple field goals in the first, and then they felt like they might be able to steal the game, but Jalen Hurts just actually threw the ball for once. 326 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, only 4 incompletions. Saquon Barkley still is looking rough on the running attack, but Devontae Smith, career high, 183 receiving yards. AJ Brown, 121 receiving yards. It's almost like the game plan was, hey guys, we have these two wide receivers, like we can use them. Um, and they were burning the cornerbacks of the Vikings. It was fun to watch. Like it was like, wow, this is what the Eagles offense looks like when you can actually throw to these two great receivers. It's actually a lot of fun to watch. Um, so I mean, they need to get going with Saquon. That would be the only critique I think for the day. If you're the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they match up or matched up pretty well with this Vikings team that like eyes so heavily on their pass rush and on their blitzes to create havoc for the quarterback. Just because this offensive line is so good. And like I feel like they can against teams like this, well, against anybody, but even the teams with the best pass rushers, they find a way to just completely neutralize that. Um, and then you're banking on your guys in the back end to actually cover Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, which is very hard to do. Um, it did kind of feel like a nature is healing game, like especially on
Yes.
that last drive when he just lobs the ball up to AJ Brown, who's got a one-on-one matchup to seal the game. Like, oh yeah, so we do have these guys and we can use them, like exactly what you said. As far as Wentz, I mean, this was the Carson Wentz game. Like, this is what he does. He has a 4 minute stretch where he looks like he's never played quarterback before. Um, and that cost him the game. Like he played okay the rest of the game. Um, he didn't look awesome out there, but similar thing where like they have Addison and Jefferson able to get the ball downfield to them for a good portion of this game and kind of got them right back in at the end. But I mean, both those interceptions he threw were just awful.
Yeah. That's what I mean. That was the difference of the game,
Oh, yeah,
and I think that like even though the offensive line did mitigate this blitz heavy defense quite well, they still had more penalty yards and the Eagles still had more sacks allowed, which really just shows. I mean, and they had almost 20 less total plays. It just shows that when shit goes wrong, they can still figure it out. They can still
Mhm.
find a way to win where it would have been getting scary. Like if they lost this game, it would have been getting scary. Like where is the team that we saw up 40 in the Super Bowl? Like where is the team that had went almost lost to the Rams in the NFC or in the NFC divisional game and had a couple scary games throughout last year and came back from it. They finally showed that they can face some adversity and be and come out on top. So
Yeah.
it was good for the Eagles, which which desperately needed this, it felt like.
Oh yeah.
All right. Monday night. You nailed this one on the head. I mean, you nailed all
The
of them on the
Lions,
head.
yeah.
But the Lions, I mean, I guess we both did for all of them. But the Lions, yes. Go ahead, take the reins here.
Yeah, I mean, it was about time um, that the Bucks put up a clunker. And again, I don't think this is like a indictment of who the Bucks are as far as like the rest of the season, but eventually these injuries were gonna pile up and affect them. Like obviously Mike Evans going down, like as soon as he comes back, that kind of sucks.
That was sad.
And it's like, you're trying to force the ball to Ibuka, who I think he had like 12 targets, which is absurd. And you come into a building that is already one of the toughest places to play in the NFL. Got this Lions offense into the dome where they've basically been unstoppable. Coming off of a rough loss too. Like I felt like the writing was on the wall. Um, and the Lions played how they wanted to play, which is get the ball to Jameer Gibbs. Like even David Montgomery had a bunch of carries, even though he wasn't really doing much. But that's how their offense works best is when both guys are involved. And
Oh no.
uh,
You hear me? I hope it's I hope it's not me. It doesn't look like my frames are going down. Oh,
okay, I got what just happened.
yeah, we got you back. I was about to take the reins, but you got it. Keep going.
um, but yeah. Anyway, so I felt like as soon as the Bucks got behind in this game, they were fighting a losing battle where the Lions were just gonna keep feeding Gibbs. Amon-Ra finally got in the end zone, and then
For the 1 week I
again, it
didn't
was
bet
almost
him.
like I know. um, it kind of felt like cruise control where there was a defense that was finally able to slow down Baker, um, which is a bummer for his MVP quest. Um, but again, like I don't think like if you're a Bucks fan, I don't think you walk out of this saying, we play the best team in the NFC and we couldn't keep up with them. I think it's you weren't really in a good situation going into the game. Um, you're still fine. Like they'll be okay. But I think this was a game where Detroit reminded everybody after last Sunday that they still are one of the best teams in the NFL.
It definitely seemed like the Buccaneers' bad offensive line or injured offensive line really caught up to him in this game. Baker was getting harassed out there. He was throwing the ball like he was back in Carolina. It was like wobbly in the air. It was like almost sideways some of those passes. And that was because he was getting beat up all game. I mean, he threw it 50 times. That's not as much as we've liked Baker Mayfield all year. That's not what we want to see out of Baker Mayfield. And as you said, the Lions were just on cruise control. They had that big Jameer Gibbs touchdown right at the beginning of the game, or that was maybe the second touchdown of the game. Amon-Ra was the first one. They drove right down the field, and then Gibbs in the second quarter just breaks a 78 yarder or something like that, maybe 72, and that was it. They knew that the Aiden Hutchinson was able to get at Baker the rest of the game, and they didn't have to do much more after that. Of course, no, like because they're the Lions, they got another touchdown with Jameer Gibbs. Um, but It wasn't necessary. They easily covered the 5.5. And yeah, I do like I want to see this is a game I want to see in the playoffs. This is a game I want to see when the Buccaneers are healthy. It is a shame. It does take a ding at my top 5 NFL teams list that Mike Evans it seems like is done for the season and there's a chance where we might not see him again at least in a Buccaneers uniform depending on how the future plays out. But I really hope we get some Mike Evans at least by, some rumors, maybe playoff time, he comes back. Um, it's his 1,000-yard streak is over. It was a sad night for Mike Evans, and I really felt bad for him there. Um, it does look like on the brightish side, it does look like they really have a player in Tez Johnson. His touchdown he
Yep.
got was incredible. He broke through like half the defense. I texted in our group chat that it's not that serious. Tez Johnson, you guys are down by 20 at that point, but he took it seriously and he's going to be a good player. But it seems like they're not even trying. I thought after the Bucky injury that they would try Sean Tucker a little bit more than they have, maybe split the carries between him and White, but they really haven't used him often at all. And it's still going to go. That's going to be. I don't know how you could do. It probably would be terrible bar trivia because I don't even know what week it is off the top of my head. But who's one player that had a NFC Offensive Player of the Week and then just disappeared for the rest of his career? It would be Sean Tucker for right now. Um, but yeah, I feel bad for the Bucks. I give props to the Lions. They proved they were mad that I didn't put them on my top 5 NFL teams list, and it worked out in their favor. All right, so those were our wise picks. We did great this week. Since I have to do basketball, I'm gonna run through a couple boring games real quick. Jaguars Rams was over in 5 minutes. The Jaguars, all they were
I'm
doing
so
was
glad I talked myself out of that pick
yep, yep,
at 8 a.m. on Sunday morning.
yep. That was a great call. They looked awful. Every time I turned on the game or looked up at the game, they were on a fourth and something and blowing it. Um, the Saints Bears Rattler had his first real bad game of his maybe not of his career, but of this year. He maybe besides the Saints game, but he looked terrible. Um, that was sad. The Bears didn't even do
I
much.
think
He ran all over them,
I think
but
Johnson figured out that he could run the ball over
yep,
their bye week.
yeah,
They have shredded on the ground the last 2 weeks. That's
yes
like
they
kind of
have.
his thing. Like baller is figuring out like fancy ways to scheme to run block.
Yeah, I mean 200 on the ground, 220. Caleb didn't do much. He didn't look great either, but he didn't need to look good. They were handing off the ball and playing great on the ground. Um, all right. And then the Chiefs played the Raiders, and they completely whooped their ass.
Again,
This was
we were worried about them covering the 12, so
we were
we were wrong on that.
yes. To be fair, we were wrong on that. This is just you do yourself a favor, and if you ever feel bad about your NFL team, unless you're a Raiders fan, of course, um, just go to this stats, just go to team stats on Google on this game, and you'll have a good laugh. Um, do you know? I mean, I don't know if you've looked at it, Chris. Do you know how many total yards the Raiders ended up having?
Like 89.
95, pretty close to the
Oh
Chiefs.
wow,
You
okay.
want to guess the Chiefs' yardage?
430.
Oh, you're right on the money. 443.
Wow.
That just abysmal. Not a single third down conversion. They had 30 total
You serious?
plays. No, yeah, not a single third down conversion. Um,
I think I did see that stat. They ran 30 plays.
yeah, they ran 30 plays in the
Oh,
yeah, we got you back. You were glitching out for a little bit. The Raiders 30 plays compared to the Chiefs 77. Um, yeah, I mean, everyone good luck to facing the Chiefs. I'm not Everyone's going to be very happy when. Part of my take said just bet them and Ohio State to win, and when everyone's upset, you'll be making money at least. All right,
You know who they play next? Right?
the Chiefs. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's Monday Night Football. Yeah, that's gonna be. We'll get to your team in a second. The Chargers Colts ended up being like a possibly exciting game at the end. Like it seemed like they were trying to come back. Herbert, a couple back-breaking interceptions. They couldn't get the ball running at all in this game. And
Well,
the
they also got
Colts,
themselves in a big hole. Like the Colts are just
yes,
a machine,
they are a machine.
absolute
And
machine.
Jonathan Taylor with another 3-touchdown game. Daniel Jones with another 2 passing touchdown game. They I mean, they just they don't care, man. They just don't care. They don't care who they're facing. It's
I don't.
but
I think after this week, I think I'm starting to accept it. Like, I think they
yes.
would be in my top 5 this week for sure.
Do you want to hear Daniel
They're, like,
Jones after the game about being
I
surprised
would love it.
about their 6-1? On being asked if why like people are saying responding to people being surprised that the Colts are 6-1, Daniel Jones just said, "Sounds like y'all didn't know much."
You said y'all.
He said,
I
"Y'all."
went to Duke. Come on,
He
man.
said, "Y'all." Um, yeah, I mean they just put a beating on him. It's there's not like they got Keaton Allen a ton of yards. Like Justin Herbert had his most career passing yards. Like they tried their best to come back in this game, and it was just not enough for the hole that they buried themselves. And yeah, I mean it was a fun game, but it was really just excited to see like how many points are this Colts team gonna score. Um,
Mhm.
so they're a unit. That's all I got here is that they're a unit.
They got Tennessee next week, so they're 7-1.
Yes. Yep. Um, the two the two games we'll talk the longest about is the Broncos and then your game. So we'll do the Packers real quick. They're on fraud watch. They're on fraud watch. Packers. I
I feel
mean,
like they played a very similar game as like you gave up 200 plus yards and 2 touchdowns to Joe Flacco and Jacoby Brissett in back-to-back weeks.
yep. And Micah
And
Parsons, to
it's
be fair, came alive at the end.
well, but like if the Cardinals, it felt like the Cardinals forgot that Michael Parsons was on the Packers. They kept leaving their tackles in one-on-ones with him. It's like,
They
what are we
did.
doing here?
They did. There was no help
You know, 3
on his
sacks,
side. Yeah, I
especially
think
with
he had 3
Jacoby.
sacks.
The guy like not slippery.
No. No, not at all. I'm tired of watching this offense. If it's not Josh Jacobs, it's just I think Jordan Love's on fraud watch too. Like it's just rough to watch.
I think he just is who he is at this point.
And
Like
he's
I don't think we're
so
getting
just
that Jordan
mid.
Love back that we saw 2 years ago. Yeah.
It's a shame because I love Tucker Kraft, I love Dobbs, I love Golden, who they just got, and I love Josh Jacobs. There's just no efficiency. There's no zip. There's nothing coming out of Jordan Love that I like. I'm oozing over. There's nothing.
Yeah.
I feel like this would be a more fun offense with Sam Darnold.
Probably.
I mean, clearly Baker, maybe even Daniel Jones at this point. Um, so it's
Let's have a conversation.
yeah, yeah. I think there needs to be. I think that's this week. There needs to be conversation around the bar. I mean, it's Sunday Night Football. When you're drinking with your friends or whatever, you gotta have a conversation about Jordan Love. Just do that for the wise guys. Just have a conversation about Jordan Love.
Well, let's play the game of if Jordan Love was in
Was on the
X
Philadelphia
situation.
Eagles.
No. The opposite of that.
Oh,
Like
okay.
if Jordan Love was on, I don't want to say the Jets because that's like
What if he was on the
that's
Cardinals?
not fair. Okay, I like that. Yeah, let's flip him.
It could he got outdueled by Jacoby Brissett. Got outdueled. And I don't know if he like it
They didn't
doesn't
lead in
seem
this
like
game until like a minute 50, I think. That last
yep,
Jacobs touchdown.
yep. And he won't he wouldn't have the interception or like the couple bad plays because Jacoby Brissett didn't have an interception, but you wouldn't have those couple bad throws and couple missed throws maybe with Jordan Love instead of Jacoby Brissett, but I don't know. He does like it's funny when he played the command like maybe it's a shine on the Commanders, but when he played the Commanders, he just looked like he was throwing like he was shooting a basketball. That's what it looked like when he was chucking
That's
it.
because their guys were there wasn't a defender within 20 yards of any of them.
The
Like I think I would have thrown for 200 yards that night. It's a bad night.
It was a bad night. But yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look at the misses and like really study the tape here on Jordan Love and see why he's missing these. Like, are they covered? Is it on
Should we give ourselves homework and try to find
grind some tape for next week?
some Packers film breakdown? I
Yeah,
can't
we
do
could
it
do
on
that.
my own. I need somebody talking me through it.
Yeah. I could do that.
I'm not into that this week. I
We
figured if I'm gonna watch my football team play bad, I might as well be a smarter fan doing it.
well we'll have what's it called? We'll have it on Sunday Night Football so that we'll find out then. We'll have it on Sunday Night
Okay.
Football. We'll watch. I mean, there's not gonna be anything distracting us with other games. Well, it won't be on red zone, so we won't miss half the drives. Or if they punt, well, that's where like that's
Look,
funny.
right?
That's where the majority of the cracks of my knowledge come from. Is just red zone not showing the failed
You
drive.
can't watch the yeah. We're not eat screening it. And even if we were, like not seeing every play.
Yes,
Maybe we should purchase the all 22.
that would be sick. I mean, we
You know
do
how
like we just like
how you get access to
we just take off every Monday. It's like what?
grind tape.
Yeah, what do you do
We
on
don't
Monday?
even know
We're
what
just
we're looking at.
grinding tape. Um. All right, and then let's do the Broncos first, and then we'll wrap up football with your team. Um, this was an incredible game. 33-32 Broncos. 33 points in the fourth quarter by Bo Nix and the Broncos. I mean, talk about government mandated interceptions. I think the government takes 2 whole quarters from Bo Nix. Like just 2 whole quarters. Um, and maybe even 3, like a real possibility of full 3 quarters just taken away from Bo Nix. I mean, he had 3 like this. I know fantasy points is an NLBO. He had 3 fantasy points going into the fourth quarter. He ended with 39.
He was the highest scoring quarterback in the league.
I think of the year so far. I'm pretty sure of the year. And it was every single one of those points, besides 3, was in the fourth
Yep.
quarter. I mean, I guess you just gotta believe. Like you just gotta believe. Um, it was a
All right.
great
Well,
Giants collapse. It was a great
in all
Giants collapse.
fairness, the ricochet touchdown to Troy Franklin that had
hmm
no business being a touchdown, and then the
The
dart
Giants got
pick.
one of those too, though. They got a ricochet touchdown to Jeremy Rucker.
That's fair.
That
That
went
is
all.
fair.
That was a great touchdown, by the way.
That
My
was
dad and I were
ridiculous.
watching
Yeah.
that. We're like, oh, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah. Well, that's just one of the like at that moment in the game too, just sucks the life out of the stadium.
Yep.
Because at that point they had already come back. Yeah. But yeah, and then the dart interception, um, which was tough after the
Well,
way that they had played the whole game.
let's start with that though. That dart interception. Or I guess not start, but let's dive into it a little bit deeper. It was on third down after they're playing just way too conservative. They just ran it up the middle with Scatterbo twice, and maybe once with Tyrone Tracy, and it was just a bad miscall of what to do there. Like you just got to run your offense and run what you got to
Mhm.
do. Just get it. Just get. You need. I think what they need 2 first downs, and the game's over. Um, and then of course the interception happens. Maybe I'm getting the timeline mixed up, but the interception happens. The Broncos
Yeah, I just
score.
pull up the drive sequence.
Yeah, and
All
then
blends together.
that's when afterwards they drive all the way down, right, and get the touchdown with 33 seconds left. Miss the extra point. That should be the timeline. Yeah. I mean, Okay, first of all, the Giants. Did they not sign Younghoe Koo? Did we not see this story about 3 weeks ago? No, no, not even. This is week 7. About 5 weeks ago that they signed Younghoe Koo. Where was he? Who was this 99 kid? I've never heard of this kicker in my life. I and apparently I missed.
They're just destined to always have kicker issues.
It's I don't
Like
understand.
they cannot. Some teams can't figure it out. They just can't figure it out.
It drove me mad. My grandma's a Giants fan, and she likes sports. She's a big Yankees fan. She's texting me about. I was like, oh my! I texted her. I was like, oh my god, the Giants might be they might be blowing this, and then they scored the touchdown, and I was like, oh my god, they sealed the deal. They're good to go. And then he missed a kick. I was like, shit, man, what the hell are they doing? And my grandma's like, they need to cut him after the first missed kick. Like this is ridiculous. So yeah, he misses 2 extra points and completely blows them the game. What 5 touchdowns from basically both teams. Yeah. No, 4 touchdowns from the Broncos, a couple field goals, but 5 touchdowns by the Giants and you lose. No field goals, barely any punts. It seemed it's I mean what they probably punted a couple times. Let me see.
Yeah, they punted a good amount in the first half.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
And
they did.
then
But they were up
after
in the
the
first half.
interception, Broncos score, and then they go 3 and out again, which was tough. I mean, they had 2 chances to close this game offensively, and they ran 6 plays.
And they basically ran it every play besides the last 2 third
The
downs.
pick, and he did. I feel bad because I feel like I'm harping on Dart when he actually played a good football game, and then they did tie it at the end. But the third down throw on the second to last drive, like the one they went 3 and out, there was a window there where he could have hit Robinson. It would have been a great throw, but it was there.
I will say for New York fans, you lost this game in a terrible fashion, but you still have life in your football team. There's life,
Yes.
and there hasn't been life in a long time. So I think that's where the
Yeah.
positive comes in. Just remember the Thursday night game against the Eagles. Sorry, I'm looking at my screen right now. The Houston Rockets are just monstrous. I mean, there's not a player under 6'7" on the court. Anyways, yeah, 6'7". But yeah, Jackson Dart. You have Cam Scatterbo. You even have Tyrone Tracy, who's still a good running back. They have young
Yeah,
pieces.
he looked good.
Their defense looked good
I thought
for
Robinson looked better
first half.
than I remember him being. Like, he looked quick.
Wandale, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some juice to him, Wandale. It is yeah, they need another wide receiver besides him. That's really the key. I mean, there was a couple
Well, they have one.
Yes. Yeah, they have one. He's just not here right now. But their defense played well. It was a shame. It was a big shame for the Giants at
It
least.
was.
I mean, it was a great game. I told my dad too. I was like, even though the Giants beat us in 2 Super Bowls, I don't really care who wins this game. Like they've been so bad. This is just a fun game to watch. And the kicker robbed us his overtime. Like it felt like they could have just gone band for band. They could have just kept going 40-40, just like the Sunday Night Football game. So
Yeah, ended a tie.
yeah, but let's wrap up football with maybe the Commander's funeral, Chris. I don't know. You tell me what you're feeling. I am not feeling good about your football team, which my opinion does not matter, just to be fair. But I am not feeling good about your football team, which is sad. I want to feel good about your football team.
I mean, I don't know what you could possibly feel good about. Like there was not one single positive
to take out of this game, other than the fact that Expressway is still really good at punting. I'm dead serious. Like, I'm listening to the radio yesterday, and the guy's just like going off on everyone. He's like, offense, defense, special teams, it was all bad. And he's like, you know what? That was ignorant. Special teams look pretty good. Expressway is still a dog. But yeah, that's what we've got going forward. There was a point in the game where it looked like they had kind of weathered the storm. So they're down 20-7 or 20-8 at this point. End of the first half. Offenses look clunky all half. They haven't been able to stop Dallas. They finally get a stop, get the ball back, go down and score on what was kind of a botched read option play at the goal line. And all of a sudden, you're down 5 in a game where you've kind of had your ass handed to you, and you get the ball coming out in the second half. So you're feeling pretty good. And I think this part of the game sums up the whole game and maybe the whole season. So you're feeling pretty good, down 5. First play that Dallas runs, boom, sacked Dak Prescott, loss of 8 yards. Cowboys call timeout, but there's there's 30 seconds left. You're a hope and a prayer to move down the field and get some points before halftime. Next play, George Pickens is one-on-one with Marshawn Lattimore, and Prescott just drops it right in the breadbasket for 44 yards down the sideline. They call timeout. All of a sudden, the complexion of this drive changes. In Lattimore's defense, he did have him strapped, and it would have taken a perfect throw to beat him.
It just happened to be
a perfect throw it was.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they traded for Marshawn Lattimore to be their number 1 corner, to lock up number 1 receivers, and in this case, a number 2 receiver who's playing like a number 1 receiver. But you got him. You gave up draft capital.
1A, 1B. Sorry.
Yeah. Make plays in this situation. And if he just gets his head around, he knocks the ball out easily. Anyway, he doesn't. 44-yard gain. They call timeout. Next play, they run it with Javonte Williams because they're just playing for a field goal. Because they have Brandon Aubrey who can make anything. He finds a wide open gap on the cutback. Takes for 33 yards down the 2-yard line. Next play, Jake Ferguson touchdown. And the rest is history. I mean, I don't even know where to go from here. I really don't. I'm already thinking about next season, how to restructure this roster. They're strapped for picks. I'm thinking about who can they move around for more picks? They're just not a great football team, and I think the problem is they are no better than they were last year. And you've had Daniels now has been hurt twice. Mm-hmm. And in the games where he is out there, other than week 1, you've had at least McLaurin, sometimes McLaurin and Debo out at the same time. You've had no Noah Brown at all. You've had one game where you've been able to run it effectively. And he's been relatively inaccurate. Has turned the ball over more. So last year, you kind of banked on him to make every single play. And he did in every game that they won, he was just about perfect. And that's what they needed him to be last year because they weren't great defensively. And there were holes on the offense that he had to make up for. And, you just kind of got used to that. And it made you think that they were a legit team. But, now it's so easy to go back and look at the schedule and say, well, they beat a bunch of teams that were bad, and they took advantage of a bunch of poopy quarterbacks, and that's why they weren't getting shredded on defense. Because God knows every time they played a good offense, they were getting shredded. And it's just the same ugly problems this year, but you're facing good teams and good quarterbacks. So I don't really know. I don't know what the solution is this year. I don't really think there is one. They're not going to fire Joe Witt. That's always the immediate reaction.
as a fan, it's just like, fire the coordinator. But like, I don't. Their problems aren't going away by firing him. I don't think
Yeah, I think it's
none of their guys in
personnel.
the secondary. Yeah, none of their guys in the secondary have played well. Um, Lattimore, I don't think has been like horrendous, like a lot of people want to say. He's just nowhere close to what we thought we were getting with him. Like he's not a guy who you can put on number one receivers anymore and expect him to neutralize them. Like he's gonna get targeted and picked on. Sanders still has been bad since moving back to the inside. I don't know if they'll try to move him back outside. Amos has actually been decent. But like Bobby Wagner's had a bad year. Frankie Louvu's had a bad year. Their best defender's been Dorrance Armstrong, and they just lost him for the year. So they don't really have anything as far as an edge rusher goes other than Von Miller, and they signed Preston Smith 2 weeks ago. So like it's just the Unks in the room now.
Forgot Preston Smith.
They're awful.
Was
Like
he in the league last year?
I don't know. I don't know if he was or not. We'll see. He hasn't played football in a long time.
It's
Yeah, they're just bad. They're bad on defense and they are banged up and clunky on offense.
I think there's I think I'm gonna try to give you some good news. And it won't be good news for this year. It'll just be good news for looking forward. Is that if this season, like there's been a ton of injuries on the defense. There's been a ton of injuries on the offense. You have a pretty secure offensive line, which is like the one strength I think of your team. The second strength would be Jaden Daniels himself, who is still a good quarterback. And he has no one to throw to. He's been inaccurate because he has no one to throw to. That's an all-pro. He has freaking Luke McCaffrey. He has Jalen Lane and Chris Moore. Robbie Chosen was maybe your wide receiver 1 last week. They don't have any
Ertz
guy
has also been for what
Ertz.
it's worth.
Yeah.
He's old. Him and Wagner like could have rode off into the sunset last year.
But like DJ Moore, or sorry, Terry McLaurin is all about his route running and all about like he's not like a big speed, he's not a big 50-50 guy. He's like a Keenan Allen route runner. He always knows how to run a route. He always knows where he's going to be. And Jane Daniels always knows where he's going to be. And Deebo Samuel's been the same way this year for him. And when you have neither of those guys, you have a 7th round pick as your running back. Do you think like I don't even think this team is very different with or the offense looks very different with Brian what was his name? Brian Johnson? Brian Johnson? Jr.?
Robinson.
Brian Robinson Jr., sorry. Um with him still being in Washington, I don't think it would make much of a difference, but like at least you'd have some sort of reliable runner. It seems like they don't trust Bill all too much, especially after last week. And like there's you can get Sunday, you go from Monday to Sunday night against the Seahawks. If you have Terry McLaurin out there and you have Deebo Samuels out there, like I still think there's a fighting chance, even if the defense looks bad, even if they're getting shredded. They just have to keep up and eventually get a turnover. But what I'm trying to say is that there is a foundation here that
Yes.
and if you end up with a top 10 pick, that foundation only gets better and better.
That's where I'm at. It's awesome.
Yes.
It's an awesome coping strategy.
Yes.
It's what the Bengals do every other year when Joe Burrow gets hurt.
Exactly. And that's the other thing too is you you already missed 2 games of Jane Daniels. He just got his leg torn up in this game. The injury wasn't bad, but he was spinning around when he got injured. So it was
It
strange.
looked like he was done for the year, the way that he reacted to it.
I thought that was very bad.
That's when I got to go get ice cream.
And you do the schedule game last year with your opponents are going to do the schedule game last year when they're making fun of the Commanders, but you could just do the freaking same thing this year. You have the Chiefs, you have the Seahawks, you have the Lions, you have the Broncos, you have the Eagles twice still, and the Cowboys again. They're gonna get shredded on defense. Like their defense just isn't good. Their defense isn't good, and that is it. They have some young cornerbacks that they could figure out the rest of the season where they belong on the field. We knew this though. They're the oldest team in the NFL. Their middle linebackers stink. Their edge rushers were never that good to begin with. And then they played well, and then they got injured. So there's a reason why you signed Von Miller in the offseason. You were looking for that extra oomph. And it was supposed to be like it was a good story. You guys got to the NFC Championship, but you can't survive off Band-Aids forever, and the Band-Aid has fallen off. It was good for a year and a
Oh,
half.
ripped off.
Yes, the Band-Aid got ripped off, and
Ripped off last year, mind you.
you
Their
think
last
so?
game.
By the Eagles?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what
Yeah.
I told one of my friends who's an Eagles fan, is that every single game feels like you're watching the NFC Championship. Where it's like they're just kind of hanging in there, and then all of a sudden, just like bang, one play, like in the NFC Championship, it was that last fumble. It's like, all right, well, now we're done, and then all of a sudden, it's a 2-score game, 3-score game. That's what this game was.
Yep.
As soon as they scored at the end of the half, it was like first quarter.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like it seems like everyone's open in the middle of the field with you guys. As you said, Ertz
Everybody's
and
open
Bobby Wagner.
anywhere, wherever they want to be.
What?
I said everybody's open wherever they want to be all the time. Like I don't this whole season, like I don't understand. I haven't been able to grasp if it's like a scheme thing, like are they just getting out coached? That's what it felt like in the Packer game, or if it's just like they're not executing. And then like the more I read and watch, it's everything. Like they're not disguising their coverages and their blitz as well, but even when they are, like their guys are just getting beat, and like it's impossible to win that way. Nothing there, everything that they're throwing at the wall does not stick.
No. And I think that's where it's landed. And I think like that's just you're right. Like you look at the Falcons game, you look at the Packers game, uh even the Bears game, you guys were right in
The
there
Bears
the
game, they
whole
should have
time.
lost by suggestion.
Yes, but you guys hung around and were right there the whole time. And that's like, of course you don't want your team to quit. Like it's going to be frustrating to watch on Sundays, but you want to have that feeling of like we can turn this around and rattle off some games. And I think because of that, there is a chance they just need to get they need one side of the ball healthy. They don't have either side of the ball healthy. And then when the defense, even when they are healthy, they're just old. It's an old defense.
Yeah, it does. Like losing Armstrong, there's no hope for the defense. He's not coming back, and they don't have anybody worth anything to replace him.
Besides Amos, did you draft any defensive players?
They drafted Kane Madrano in the 6th round. He's a linebacker. I mean, they only had 5 picks. They went
Yeah.
Connerly, Amos, Lane, Madrano, and Bill.
I didn't realize how little picks you had. That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, and they turned the picks into Lattimore, Debo, and Tunzel.
Which 2 out of 3 have hit.
Yeah.
But like you have the most important things. You have an offensive line and you have a quarterback. And now like that's something that you don't need to spend draft capital on at all this whole offseason.
Yeah.
Hell, you don't even, as long as you retain your guys, you don't even have to sign a free agent for it. So like just focus it all on the defense, focus it all on just wide receiver help. And I don't know, now Terry's paid. Like he should be spending the offseason goddamn training instead of sitting around sidelines.
Yeah, the frustrating part is that like they have young pieces that are not contributing. Like the guys from last year's draft. On offense, you have McCaffrey, Coleman, and Sinnott.
Yeah, they don't
and
even
Sinnott
try to
has
use
been the
Senate.
third tight end. Yeah, even when Ertz looks as slow as he does. So Sinnott, you can hold out hope and say like, well, the tight end learning curve is pretty steep. Like we've seen guys be in the league for a couple years and all of a sudden take a leap. So you're kind of holding out hope that like, assuming they move on from Ertz, that they just decide that they still think they have something in Sinnott, um, and he gets starter reps next year. I don't know if that's the case. Who knows? McCaffrey, like I don't know how much better he's gonna get, and he's been fine for them, but he's probably a fourth receiver.
Yeah, he's a third at
Um,
best.
yeah, and then Coleman has been inactive for like 3 games. He was starting left tackle last year, so that's offense. And then on the defensive side of the ball, you have Sanders still, who was great last year and has been a liability this year, and you have Johnny Newton, who takes 40% of the snaps and is your third defensive tackle.
Forgot about
Um,
Johnny. I totally forgot about Johnny.
yeah, it's very easy to. And then you have Jordan McGee, who everybody wants to see Jordan McGee play because he's fast and Bobby Wagner's slow, but he's getting like snap count is going up from like 3 to 6. I still think they have something in him. We'll see. Um, but yeah, I mean the wheels have fallen off. Like, I mean they're gonna get their a fist shoved up their ass on Monday night by the Chiefs. Like it is going to be awful.
Especially with
Like
Rice
they're
back.
catching the Chiefs.
I said especially with Rice back.
They're catching them at the worst time possible. Like they're playing the best football that they played in 3 years. And in that stretch, they won 2 Super Bowls and made another one. And it's at Arrowhead. So like, regardless of which version of the Chiefs they were playing, I would not feel good. But like, it's the timing is horrible. I don't even know if Jaden's gonna play. Probably not, honestly. I'll probably go to bed at halftime.
Why would you play him? I mean, like, dude, I wouldn't play him the freaking rest of the year. I would play him. I play him against the Dolphins and then sit him again against the Broncos. Like, why even bother at this point? And like, maybe like I get it. Like he's a competitive guy. He's gonna want to play, but
Yeah.
I'd be like, sorry, pal. You've already had 2 strikes. You're out in this league. Like you are sitting the bench, and it's not because of your performance. It's because
Yeah.
we need this team to be good with
Your
you,
precious
not with
Darnell.
Marcus. Yeah, not with Marcus Mariota. Um, and then like I don't know. Like it's funny. Like there's and the reason why I'm I guess so adamant about it. Like it's not. It's 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 fixable problems. It's not this impossible former Commanders and football team and Redskins where it's like there's just no hope. There's Dan Snyder. It's all a freaking mess.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
there's stuff to work with here, and there's problems to be addressed, and it's possible. Like I think the biggest issue with the Commanders is that they made it to the NFC Championship last year. If they didn't make
Yeah.
it to the NFC
I
Championship
mean,
last
and
year, there would be real changes on this defense and coming into the season. And you
yeah,
guys
I
got
mean, I don't even
blown
know if
out by
that's
the
true. Like,
Lions, like absolutely just wrecked. Like there would be you'd have new linebackers, you'd have I mean you already tried new cornerbacks, but you would have new linebackers, you would have a better defensive line. Um I don't know. That's all what if, but still.
yeah, I don't think they thought that they got like that much better
Mhm.
because they didn't have like the Tunzel and the Connerly moves were their biggest investments of the offseason,
Yes.
and that was all about protecting Jaden long term.
Mhm.
And like your next biggest move was Kinlaw, who's been good. He's been really good against the run. He's generated pressure. Like he's not a guy that's going to fill up the stat sheet with sacks, but like him and Payne have been good on the inside. It's the only part of the defense that's been effective. Um, so like I wouldn't undo that signing. The Amos pick has worked out pretty well. It's like they knew that they needed an edge rusher, and they weren't able to get one because they decided that the value wasn't there in the draft where they were. They loved Connerly, and then in free agency they didn't want to spend $30 million a year on somebody like Josh Sweat. So I get it, but like at some point they have to bring somebody in that is not Von Miller.
Yeah. No, I mean it's just it was like I feel like you had a sense of this in the offseason. Of course you thought it was going to go a little bit better, but you
Yes.
definitely had a sense. Like there wasn't enough additions going on here.
Yeah, but at the same time, like in one off season, like what were they gonna? They couldn't fix everything.
No, yeah, you can only do so much. I agree.
So like the bringing back Wagner, it's like, I mean, yes,
It's
he's
either that
old
or an
and
empty
yes,
spot.
he's a bandit, but right, like what was the other option?
Yeah.
And I guess same thing with Ertz and on the D line, like Goldman and Wise and all these old fart journeymans like freaking Preston Smith. Like they just needed bodies. They have no, I mean, this is what happens when you have 4 years of
bad draft.
basically
Yep.
zero players.
Yep.
Zero players. They had like 4 guys from Ron's time.
What did we Freaky
Not
Friday?
like
did we Freaky Friday our
we
seasons?
did. Have fun next year. Um like Ron's first round picks were Jamin Davis, Chase Young, Emmanuel Forbes, and Jahan Dotson.
Not a single one on the team.
Yeah, and not even on the team last year.
Nope.
Cut Forbes after like 4 games.
Yeah, that was. I mean, like he wasn't good, but that was kind of ridiculous. I mean, you got like a third round pick for him, maybe if that. I think you cut. Did you cut him? No, you cut him.
No, cut Forbes cut.
Yeah.
Dotson they somehow got a third round pick out of. I really don't know how that happened.
Jesus.
But like they have from the Rivera, they have Cosme. My phone still autocorrects to that. Like whenever I've said like Rivera, which is not often obviously, but like it has come up talking about the team, and it'll autocorrect to all caps, like put era in all caps, and it just makes me stick a gun in my throat. What was I gonna say? Cosme, Juan Martin, who sucks, and Ron Robinson was on that list. He's gone. Really thinking here.
I can't think of any.
Reeves? No, I think Reeves was there before. McLaurin was there before. Payne was there before. Tressway was there before. Yeah, I mean, that like, oh, Chris Paul is their starting left guard now.
Okay.
3 guys. He brought in 3 guys in 4 years that play on this team.
Yeah, and that's and to your point exactly, that's why there was no options this offseason. There wasn't guys to flip. There wasn't guys to go out and get with besides the ones that you already got the year before. Like you already brought in all the mercenaries. You had to run it, but you almost had to run it back with them because you had so little picks. So that's where we are in the situation. And I guess like we're just keep going to the same point, but it's I feel like I'm a therapist here. I feel like it's nice to let you get this all out.
Yeah, no, this has felt good.
Yeah. And it's
I didn't actually want to put it out of my mouth. That was dramatic. I apologize.
It's all right. It's all right. Football's a game of passion. So
He's a passionate guy.
yeah. But yeah, I think it's funny if he doesn't go against the Chiefs. I don't know why. I don't know what the point of bringing it back is. To try to save, like, no one's. They're not gonna fire uh, Dan Quinn,
No, and they shouldn't.
so there's no there's no benefit bringing back. Like hell, at this point, just I know Terry played a game. He's played a game.
He played weeks 1 and 2. And yeah, I think that's it.
That guy, I'm glad the contract signed because that I mean that this whole wide receiver business might be his fault. Um, I don't know what you do. I don't know if you bring him back or not. I mean,
I mean, he's like they're gonna bring him back. If he's healthy, he'll
yes, yeah,
play.
that is
They're
true.
not gonna shut him down in week 9.
But if he gets tackled again like that, I mean, just it would just it would not be good. Very much not be good.
It feels like it's about like it feels like they're playing with fire too.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, especially because like the Seahawks, like the
At
D
least like
line,
this one, he was in the pocket. At least it wasn't
yeah.
like one of Cliff's stupid design runs where they're just running him straight into a stack box, which
I think
actually makes me want to punch him in the face so badly.
I like you're gonna, but it's funny. It's not funny. It's scary. He's been injured twice, and now you're going up against the best fronts in the NFL and the best blitzing teams in the NFL. You're going up against the Seahawks, who have a great defense and a great defensive line. You have the Lions, Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, the Dolphins are a gimme, but then you have the Broncos coming up, and the number one blitz team in the league, the
The
Vikings.
Vikings, the Giants, the Eagles twice.
Yeah, and the Cowboys, who just hurt him. Like this schedule is brutal. It's absolutely it's a gauntlet.
It is.
So I guess we'll just have to wait and see on Monday and see what the
It feels like they're the Browns the year after in Baker's second year, where they were on primetime every week, and you knew that
yeah
they were bad right at the start of the season, and then
yeah
you just kept having to watch them. So at least Jaden's not in every commercial.
yeah. But him and his mom in the commercials is a little much.
His mom, it's just
His mom needs to go away.
talking to people.
As someone who loves my mother,
Stop talking to people.
yeah, they needed everyone like thumbs up. The announcer's like, oh, he's looking at his mom over there. Give him a thumbs up. It's like, all right, we get it. Like he likes his mom.
Yeah,
Like he's
yeah, right.
close.
Everybody loves your mom.
Yeah, he's close to his mom. Like we get it. Um, the Twitter stuff about his mom is something that I don't think we can repeat on the podcast, but it's some funny stuff. Um, yeah, but you have 4 standalone games in the next 5 weeks, Chris. What are you gonna do? This is it's the worst case scenario, like the worst case scenario. Um,
So the
so
way
just
I look at it
yeah.
is
Oh, sorry.
watch them
One of
during
is a
the
bye
day,
week, so
and then I go to bed at halftime.
hey, at least you get to
But I
enjoy
say that
football,
now, and then I
right?
won't be able to. So they'll suck
No,
me into it.
no. Yeah, it'll be like a
I'm
3-point
not
game or
like
something.
that. If it was like the Wizards, that's what I would do.
At least you, you
Regularly
you have a
for
good point though. Like you're gonna be able to enjoy a 1 p.m. window until December. You got all of November. You can watch every 1 p.m. window without a worry, without a trace.
Yep.
Um, all right, I'm sure the Commanders fans are gonna love this. We just went through Commanders
Yeah,
therapy.
I spent so much time on that.
That's okay. I wanted to let you have it.
I
Um,
will. The last thing that I'll say is I used to have this not theory, but um experience where every year there was a game that they lost so badly that you just kind of like were shocked back into the reality of what the franchise is, and like you just lost all hope for the season and really for the organization as a whole. um
And last year there was not one of those losses. And I'm not saying that was this because, like we said, there's no Dan Snyder. Like there is a long-term plan. They have the quarterback, which they've never had. So it isn't that loss, but it damn sure feels like it. Where you wake up the
It's
next
like
day. Like
PTSD.
I felt empathy.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think they're done. Like I
Did you
think it's over.
did you wake up? You're like, dude, is it 2014? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, no, that's how I felt. I'm like, yeah. I'm like listening to the radio. I'm like, man, I almost missed this.
It's like it feels
This guy
comfortable.
screaming
It
and
feels yeah.
I was so uncomfortable last year. I didn't know what to do. It's like, this is right.
This is yeah. I was gonna say this is expected.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, we're gonna do real quick a super condensed basketball preview, and we'll have another basketball preview, and we'll have multiple check-ins. Um, but I have a couple teams I need you to help me out with what your opinions are on them. But the East standings, we're gonna go top to bottom because all the ones at the bottom are the ones that I need some help. Or not all the ones at the bottom, a couple of them. I have the Cavs. I think that their continuity with each other. I think the addition of Lonzo Ball, they're really gonna have a nice regular season. They're gonna win over. I think their over under is like 57, something high like that. I think they'll get up there. Um, Then number two, I have the New York Knicks, which is kind of the same deal now with a new head coach with an extended bench. I think the head coach, Mike Brown, will actually use the bench of the New York Knicks this year and not have all their stars get injured or be just tired in the playoffs. Um, and I think that those two teams are the best two teams in the East. And then I have the Magic, who now have Desmond Bain to help out the 3-point scoring. And if it's not gonna be this year, they're gonna this year, and it ended up being right. So part of me wants to double down on that, but there's been a lot of Magic talk this offseason, and I'm kind of falling for it. And then number four, which I was surprised when I did this today because of how much their roster bugs me, but it's really only one player on the roster that bugs me, and that is the Milwaukee Bucks at number four. It seems like they have shooters around Giannis. That's really all you need. Their center position is now Miles Turner instead of Brook Lopez. I thought Brook Lopez was a shell of himself last year. The one player is, of course, the terrorist known as Kyle Kuzma. He is he's invaded Milwaukee after a midseason trade last year, and
Data, they welcomed him with
that's
open
true. Yeah,
arms.
yeah, he was an undercover. He flipped on the he I'm just gonna make a bad joke. He did he's he's a bad
We
basketball
got
player.
sick listeners. Go for it.
He's a bad he's a bad basketball player. And of course now he'll have a whole offseason with the Bucks. He'll probably have a more redefined role. I don't know if that improves Kyle Kuzma. And to defend Kyle Kuzma, which is not this isn't a defense, but like maybe we'll see something better this year, Kyle Kuzma, is because he completely gave up on the Wizards. I hate that guy. He would not dive for loose balls. He wouldn't play defense. And I think it seems like that's something you don't really turn on in the middle of an NBA season. So maybe this whole offseason where Bucks, I mean, Giannis, they either win a championship or they lose Giannis Antetokounmpo. And not they have to win it, but they have to compete for a championship or they lose on
Mhm.
Giannis Antetokounmpo. Um, so this is a very important year for the Bucks, and I'm having them at number four. Number five might be a surprise to some people. The Atlanta Hawks have been making some moves this offseason. They have a deeper bench. They have Kristaps Porzingis for whatever that's worth, and for what that is worth is the 50 games that he plays or less is going to be they're going to be very fun basketball played in those 50 games. Um, they finally got rid of the Clint Capella situation. He just seemed like, I always liked Clint Capella, but it always just seemed like everywhere he went, it was like the team just can't wait to get rid of him. And yet they signed him to a massive extension. Um, so I like their roster. They also got the guy from the Timberwolves who was it's Shea Gilgeous's cousin, Alexander Walker, Nickel. Yeah. I thought he was really good for the Wolves in the playoffs and as a bench piece for them. And they have Luke Kennard, which I'm excited to see on the Atlanta Hawks as well.
Kevin Herter, welcome back.
Yes. Yeah, I forgot they got Kevin Herter too, right?
Oh no, I was just saying that Luke
Luke Kennard is
basically
Kevin Herter. Yeah. No, Kevin Herter's on the
the
Bulls. You're
Bulls.
right. You're right. Yes, he is basically the Kevin Herter for this Atlanta squad. And then I have the Detroit Pistons at 6. I honestly I could see them going a little bit lower too. They are getting Jaden Ivey back. It's going to be important. They didn't extend him. It's going to be important to see what his role is on this version of the Pistons. He was out all of last year. Cade Cunningham is clearly the ball handler in this offense. They got a couple good pieces, but they lost Mike McKill. They lost Beasley because of the gambling situation. I don't know how that's come into play. I think the NBA needs to do an investigation of it, but the DOJ said that he's fine. But they had to cut him for that, and they voided his contract for it. So that's a big loss. I like Cade Cunningham. I like the way that he's stepping up. I like Duren. There is good pieces on that team. It's not my favorite team though. Then 7 I have the Raptors actually, which they are just a hodgepodge of pieces. And I think that hodgepodge is just going to have them to a minimum wins basically. Where it's not like there's not a lot of bad players on that roster. There's not a lot of pieces that fit together very well. The offense is going to look ugly at times, but they're going to play good defense. They have lanky guys, and they're going to be weird. It's like a team full of Draymonds, basically. It's weird.
Weird lanky guys.
Yep. But I felt like that was good enough for the 7th seed in the East because the East is not very good. Under them, I have the Heat, who have the Heat culture, the Heat power. They'll be competitive in games. Their defense is going to suck, and they don't have Tyler Hero for at least like a month, so that's going to put them behind the 8 ball immediately. 9, I have the 76ers, which is the most difficult team to predict. If Joel Embiid plays a bunch of games and Paul George plays a bunch of games, they're going to be actually really good. And they're probably going to be closer to the 6th and 7th seed than the other teams. Than where they are now. I have them at 9. But I do think they're going to end up in the play-in because I can't trust Embiid. I can't put faith behind Embiid. Even with him not out there and Paul George not out there, they have 4 fun guards. They got Jared McCain, they got Tyrese Maxey, they got now VJ Edgecombe, and they have Quentin
Grimes.
Grimes. Thank you. So those are 4 great point guards and shooting guards that are going to be fun to play with, and yeah, they're going to be an interesting team. They're going to be worth a watch, especially when Embiid's out there. Number 10, I have my Boston Celtics.
That low?
There,
I'm surprised.
yeah, I do think they'll be close to 500. And maybe with the East, that makes them higher in the East. It's just, I don't know. They're okay. Their front court's awful though. That's the issue. They're not going to get a lot of rebounds. Um, they had to cut a bunch of money this offseason. Simons is going to shoot a lot. Peyton Pritchard's going to shoot a lot. Derek White's going to shoot a lot, and of course Jaylen Brown is going to shoot a lot. With those 4 players, that might make them higher than 10. And it might be like Joe Mazzulla, he would do anything rather than tank. So that is the key. I put them here at 10 because honestly, if they make it in the play-in and then lose the play-in, that is my dream scenario because then they're just like the Mavericks and the Atlanta Hawks in the past 2 years. Adam Silver will give them the number 1 pick, and then we'll be right back on track. So that's why they end up here at 10. I just realized I forgot when doing this. For some reason, I thought 11 through 13 were fighting for play-in spots. So I had highlights on the Pacers, the Bulls, and the Hornets, who I have right now at 11, 12, and 13. Aaron Barton, who we normally do the preview with, would be screaming his head off because he showed me his list. And I think he has the Hornets
Hornets at
at
7.
they're at like 7 or 9, so in that range. And they do. I mean, they have a good roster. They need LaMelo Ball to stay healthy. Is he ever going to play 70 games in an NBA season? Brandon Miller got hurt last year. It seems like he was good at when he was out there. I like Liam McNeely, who they got at the end of the first round. I like Con Knipple. Yep. They got at the beginning of the first round. It's there's interesting pieces on this team. And another year with the coach, maybe they put it together. But I don't know. I think I don't know if they're better. Like they're probably above the Bulls. I think I'm gonna put them above the Bulls and have them be 12 and have the Bulls be 13. I think that's where I'm gonna end it. The Pacers, that's another team where they have the coach Rick Carlisle, which will always find ways to bring the best out of these guys. Their center position's awful. Their point guard position is all over the place, but it seems like it's TJ McConnell. They're not going to have a lick of Halliburton this year, and I think that really is going to affect the way that they play the game. They're not going to be running gun like with that. So, all right, you know what, Hornets fans, we're going to make you guys 11. We're going to have the Pacers. They're going to be under the Bulls, right above our Washington Wizards, who I have season tickets for, in hopes of Cooper Flag, and did not get Cooper Flag. So I will be watching a lot of Trey Johnson.
Get Trey Johnson now.
Yep. I'll be watching a lot of Trey Johnson. The Wizards,
We're
I
saying
do.
better fit on the roster than Cooper Flag.
Is that what they're saying?
Some.
I will say this is going to be a fun Wizards team. This is worth a league pass check out before the other games start because it'll be fun. They have, I think their whole roster is basically first round picks and lottery picks and close to the top of the first round. It is
But not that close.
not besides Alex Sarr, he's 2. Alex Sarr's 2, but
Oh,
everyone
yeah,
else.
the worst draft ever.
Yes, you got 2 in one of the stinkiest drafts in a while. I still like Sarr, by the way. I think he's a good player. I think that there's going to be.
I think there's definitely a player in there.
I think with pausing on a little Wizards talk, I think this is Bilal Koulibaly's. You got to make it or break it. Like I got to see something out of you.
Are you a really good player or are you Denny?
Yes. No one. Poor Denny, or not poor Denny, but poor Wizards. Denny's freaking amazing in Portland at the second half of the season. He's like their best player. A lot of people are putting him for most improved. Anyways, the Wizards, they will be fun. It'll be a lot of different lineups, a lot of hodgepodge of characters, not a lot of defense, and hopefully
No, they
just a
have
lot of.
guards that play defense.
They
Sean
have
George
guards
is
that.
a good defender. Sarr is
Yes,
a good defender.
that's true.
Koulibaly is a good defender.
Yeah, that is one thing Koulibaly really does well. Whitmore's not a good defender. Bub's not a good defender. Bub can get there though. Good, yeah, Bub can get there. I like Bub too. He's a good character. He's a good. It's a lot of characters here on the Washington Wizards. I think that it'll be fun to watch. Someone who will not be fun to watch is the Brooklyn Nets. They picked 5 draft picks. Every single one of them needs the ball. So I don't know what they're doing. They have Michael Porter Jr. who doesn't give up the ball. They have Cam Thomas who also does not give up the ball. It'll be worth it. And they still have Nick Claxton. Shout out Nick Claxton. Poor guy is still on the Brooklyn Nets. I will say it might be worth watching just to see how many shots the rookies that they drafted get Michael Porter Jr. and Cam Thomas. I mean, Cam Thomas gets his own, but Michael Porter Jr. is going to be set up for just every shot in the book, and he'll take every shot in the book. So that's going to be an ugly team, but there might be some interesting aspects to it. I don't think they're going to win a lot of games though. All right, and then also updated standings. The Hornets are at 11, Bulls are at 12, Pacers at 13. The West standings. I have OKC, of course. They are they're sadly they've already tipped off. They're playing right now against the Rockets. It's a neck and neck game. Oh, Katie just missed a jumper. Um, they I don't see why they don't win 60 plus games. I don't see why they're not a freaking juggernaut. I think they're over under 62.5.
Injuries the only
Yep.
possible way that they don't.
And we say this every year with the championship team, but the Nuggets were old. The Celtics were money strapped and injury prone, and this Celtics team is. I mean, sorry, this OKC team is as young as it gets. They're still, I think, one of the youngest teams in the league, if not the youngest. And they have Nikola Topic on the bench. They drafted another guy this year in the first round. They just keep using their picks and keep drafting players. Usman Jang has played no minutes for them so far. Um, there's just there'll be guys by the end of the season that were like, oh shit, they have another one. They have another guy that can play real NBA minutes. Um, it's just a plethora of players, and I think that's what we're going to be saying about the Wizards in 2 years. So let's let's go. Yeah. Um,
He just stumble into a Paul George trade.
yes.
Just
Yeah.
chance on that.
The Nuggets are good, and they have a bench now. The Jokic finally has some bench players. They got Cam Johnson from the Nets, and they have Jonas Valanciunas. Um, they just signed Christian Braun to a big extension. He's a good player.
Already?
They got,
Hasn't he only been in the league for like 2 years?
I think,
No,
3.
3 years.
Yeah, because he won the
Never mind.
championship with them. And then they got, speaking of championship winners with them, they got Bruce Brown back too. So they really have a deep bench this year. They were the closest person to take the Nuggets down. So I have them at 2. It's gonna be a great playoff series whenever they play again. I have 3, the Houston Rockets, who don't. The only issue is they don't have a point guard because of the injury to Fred VanVleet. They do have Reed Shepard, who is the 3rd overall pick. He's in the game right now. It seems like they want to get him more minutes. They have Amon Thompson, who was a great defender last year. A lot of people have also picked him for most improved. And now they have Kevin Durant. Um, I was listening to the Mismatch. Love the Mismatch. Shout out those guys. They were talking. Chris Verno was talking about how, I already saw this with the Phoenix Suns, that they gave up all these players for Kevin Durant, but the difference is the Phoenix Suns gave up Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, and I think someone else for Kevin Durant. The Suns, they gave up Jalen Green and Dylan Gabriel. No, not Dylan Gabriel. Switching up sports here. Dylan Brooks. That's his name. And honestly, I couldn't give it 2 shits about either of those players. Um, I know Jalen Green's he's good offensively, and Dylan Brooks is really good defensively, but it's Kevin friggin' Durant. It's not. You're not giving up Cam Johnson, and you're not giving up Mikal Bridges, and those 2 players have become super valuable in this league. And Dylan Brooks, we've seen, and we've been there, done that with him. And Jalen Green, it was his time to go anyways. So I thought that was a bad miss by them, and I think the Rockets would be really good. Um, then I have the Timberwolves, who have been good since Anthony Edwards has been there. They got some more depth. They got another center in the draft, who is going to play with Rudy Gobert and try to take some of his minutes. Um, they didn't do a big move in the offseason, did they? I'm not missing anything, right? They still got Julius Randle, still got Naz Reid. They got to keep both those guys, signed them both to extensions. Um, maybe they got a guard. I'm totally blanking. Um, I'm looking up their roster right now. I mean, Robin Dillingham is coming back for his year 2. Dante DiVincenzo's second year in the system. They still have Jane McDaniels. Yeah, I mean, the big guy was Jonah Berenger, who's the um now the backup to Rudy Gobert. Mike Conley is still there. They have Johnny Juzang, who's played good in the preseason. Um, they have Bones Highland, Terrence Shannon. It's a deep team, and they still have Joe Ingles. It's a deep team. They're going to be good. Um, They're gonna be fun in the playoffs too. Then I have the Clippers, number 5. I really want to put them higher. I feel like they might be able to go higher. I just don't think they're going to be good in the regular season. They're going to be great in the playoffs.
Mhm.
Just because they have, I mean, they did a lot. They have John Collins, they have Chris Paul, they have Bradley Beal, they have Brooke Lopez as a backup to Zubac. The Kawhi Leonard got paid by a tree company, and they're under investigation. It will be. I hope as much as like
I don't
that
think we
is a
ever
little.
talked about that story, did we?
No, we didn't. Um, Apparently there was a company that seemed like a pseudo company and a fake company paying Kawhi Leonard a bunch of money, owned by,
Fraudulent company.
yes, fraudulent company owned
Calling
by
Ballmer out for millions
Ballmer.
of dollars.
Yep. Seemed like a big, what's that? Money laundering scheme. That's what it seemed like. A big money laundering scheme.
Yes.
And I hope it doesn't bite them in the like. This Clippers team's too fun to wait to wait, and they don't have too many years. It's a 2-year window here. Still got James Harden. Um, I would hate if they like suspend him or do some freaking blow up where they have to trade him or cut him or void his contract. I know it's not fair that Steve Ballmer, but he's rich. He doesn't play by the rules anyways. Who cares? Um, I uh, I just want to see that this is gonna be a fun basketball team. I want to see them uh be on the court. Um, all right. Speaking of Unk, the Warriors are also super Unk. The projections, ESPN projections have them as the number 2 team in the Western Conference, and I don't understand it. I like they're gonna miss some time. Last year, they're basing it off the projections of how they played at the end of the regular season last year when they got Jimmy Butler. But when they got Jimmy Butler, they were almost out of the playoff race. So every game was like basically a playoff game for them to crawl back into the play-in and eventually make it in the playoffs. So that's why they were playing at that pace, that hustle. There was this whole contract situation with Jonathan Kuminga. I don't think the coaches like him at all, but there was nowhere for him to go. He was in this restricted free agency. No team really wanted to make an offer on him, so they basically gave him a pity offer, and he stayed. That thing's a mess. I don't know how that's going to turn out. I do like Jimmy Butler. I like Steph Curry. I I like Al Horford. They do have a good roster. But I just don't see them. They're just like the Clippers. I just don't see them holding up in the regular season. They might make more noise in the make more noise in the playoffs than they do in the regular season. Um, yeah, I mean, I got Pajinski, who I like, Buddy Hield, who I like. Gary Payton's back. Moses Moody's still on the team. Quentin Post. D'Anthony Melton's on this team now. Um, I just know at some point they might get into they have to play Pat Spencer again, and that's not what it's not what I'm looking for. All right, here's where the highlighted guys are. Number 7, I have the San Antonio Spurs. They have De'Aaron Fox full season, Victor Wembanyama for year 2, year 3, Stephen Castle for year 2, and now they have Dylan Harper. I mean, they still have Harrison Barnes, James Johan. They got Luke Cornett as their center. It's I like this team. I think that if Wemby takes a step up that everyone thinks he's going to take, it's going to be a dangerous squad. So I feel like the reason why I have them highlighted is like I feel like they could get past the Warriors. I mean, like who the hell is guarding Wemby and Luke Cornett on the Warriors? It just doesn't. I don't know. Al Horford ain't doing it. Um,
How do Fox and Harper play together? Like, what does that look like?
that's like the biggest. It's funny. It's like they got. It's not like it. I was thinking about that today on the car ride home, and because everyone's been talking about it, and I wonder if like we look in a couple years and it was like, man, Ace Bailey was sitting right there, where
Mhm.
he could have just played right next to Wembanyama. They could have had Fox. They all could have been in the starting lineup, and Castle could also be in the starting lineup. And I think that's where it really gets tricky, where they have 3 guys who you want to give the ball to, you want to have the ball,
Mhm.
you want them to dictate the offense, and I'm sure for this year, it's not going to be too much of a problem. Dylan Harper's still a rookie, but I hope it doesn't bring down like Stephen Castle's usage. Like he was really good last year. He was kind of inefficient, but he was good. He won Rookie of the Year. Um, So I don't know how that works. It's definitely gonna be interesting, and I don't think it's gonna be an issue. It won't be an issue until maybe 2 years from now or 1 year from now. This year it won't be an issue. It'll be either a sideshow or it'll be like if you watch the Spurs every night, you'll see some issues with it. Um, but in big games, they're gonna have Fox out there. They're gonna have Harper running the bench, and that's how it's gonna be. They might be a little thin on their roster, but I still like them. So I have them over the Lakers at 8. LeBron has who knows when he's gonna be able to play. And they have Luka Doncic. They now have DeAndre Ayton. They have Luka um or Laravia. I forget his first name. Um, it's it's kind of a similar team to last year, only instead of LeBron, it's Luka. I mean, they have Marcus Smart. That's something. They have Jared Vanderbilt back. He's now healthy. We'll see how they do against the Warriors tonight. By the time you're listening to this, they might look like the Mavericks when Luka was just out there alone. Um, but even those Maverick teams missed the playoffs a couple times. Everyone's voting Luka MVP in the preseason already. I don't think they're going to be a high enough seed for that to happen. And I guess if they become a top 4 seed in the West, like that's why the Luka odds are so low. Because if they're a top 4 seed in the West, like he's gonna be putting some crazy numbers up, and he's gonna be putting crazy numbers up if they're the 10th seed in the West. Like let's be honest. So it'll be it'll be interesting to see how he could drag them. Then I have the Mavericks at 9. Who Mavericks are they're the same way with the Spurs with me. If Cooper Flag is as good as we think Cooper Flag's going to be, and they have a healthy Anthony Davis, and they get Kyrie Irving in late December, and they float without him on there, their defense might be freaking nasty, and their offense might struggle at times, but there's no reason why they can't be in the plan. There's absolutely no reason. Um, Number 10. So I think I'm going to keep those rankings there. I think that's how I'm going to keep it. Do you think Spurs, Lakers, or Mavericks should be moved? Those are the ones I have highlighted.
I don't, I don't think so. I feel like there's definitely going to be growing pains in San Antonio.
Mhm.
But it does feel like the other side of that coin, where like they could be the 4 seed like, 2
Yeah.
months into the season. Where how do we have them basically ranked in the play-in?
Yeah,
I think the Lakers could be the same way. Like if they do look like those Mavs teams that like it was obviously the best version of that Mavs team was a couple games away from winning an NBA championship. So
yeah,
if they're humming, I think you could say the same. I mean, it's a loaded conference again, so it's like
Yep. That's the
we
hard
have
part.
great teams from 7 through 9,
Yeah.
potentially great teams at least.
Yeah, and the next 2 teams are if they're healthy and they've already been putting in the right pieces, like they're in the right direction. The Grizzlies and the Blazers.
Mhm.
This is another one I could flip those two. I have the Grizzlies at 10 and the Blazers at 11. The Blazers were really good at the end of last year. They got Drew Holiday, which doesn't seem like too much of a big step, but it's adult in the room for young point guards that they have right now. It's I don't know. Like they could be really good, especially defensively. They were really good defensively at the end of last year. And the Grizzlies, they were just always good whenever they're healthy, and it's another season where they're coming into the season very unhealthy. There's a lot of good pieces that I like. I love Cedric Coward from the draft this year. I love Gigi Jackson, of course. That's my guy. And I love John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. whenever they're out there. I don't think that Desmond Bane will be missed too much, but
Mhm.
especially on defense. But the they just aren't healthy already, and that worries me. So that's why I have them low. Um, Especially when all these other West teams are healthy. The West is a freaking gauntlet. The Pelicans at number 12, they don't want to be number 12. If they're number 12, they're freaking out at the end of the season. They have an unprotected pick given to the Atlanta Hawks for Derek Queen. I mean, they actually have a roster that's pretty competent. They have Jordan Poole now. They have Derek Queen. They have Jeremiah Fears, and Zion, of course. They've been a mess of an organization, and it's a shame because they have some fun players on their team. and because of that, like there's no way I'm ranking the Pelicans above 12. Um, but if we see healthy Zion finally, if we see Derek Queen work together with him, um, there's there's a real chance that we we could see a successful Pelicans team that doesn't have to give up a top 10 pick to the Hawks for free, basically. Um, and then I think even even lower than the Nets, I think all these teams besides the Jazz, I kind of mess with the Jazz. The Jazz are 15, but the Kings and the Suns, I want nothing to do with these teams. Absolutely nothing to do with these teams. Um,
Things are so depressing.
the Kings they're in the worst spot.
Like the Beam year was so fun, and
They didn't even last. They didn't even
couldn't
last 2 years with the
couldn't have
Beam.
been worse. Yeah,
Nope. It's yeah, it's their coach is gone.
they're just the
All their
Bulls
good
now,
players are
right?
gone. Now they're just the Bulls with Russell Westbrook, who they just signed. The Suns are the Hornets backcourt, or sorry, the Hornets front court with Jalen Green, with a bunch of shooting guards,
Backcourt.
with Jalen Green and uh, Devin Booker and
Again,
Dylan Brooks. They have like 7 shooting guards and they have like 4 centers on their team. Um, I hate everything about both those teams. The Jazz will be fun. They just don't want to win. They're just gonna continue doing this. They just don't
I
want to
think
win.
Ace Bailey's gonna have a good year.
Yeah, I like Ace Bailey. I kind of flipped on him like the second he like came to summer league and was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna play for the Jazz." Like I was like, "Oh, this guy's gonna be freaking." Like I was like, "This guy's the next KD. Like this guy's awesome." Which makes me even more mad because I wanted him to go to the
I
Wizards.
know it's so upsetting.
Um, all right, and then real quick, I have Giannis Antetokounmpo for MVP. That's the big bet here. If they're a top 4 seed and nobody expected it, everyone wanted him to get traded this offseason. Give it back to Giannis. Then I have Cooper Flag as rookie of the year. Duh. I have Wemby for defensive player of the year. Duh. Wemby's just gonna have defensive player of the year for the next 10 years. Like let's everyone be okay with
He
it.
plays. Well, is that why they put in the rule where you have to play like 60 games or whatever to qualify for the
Pretty
award?
much. Pretty much. I have coach of the year Mark Dagnall, who coaches the Oklahoma City Thunder because I know they are losing right now,
No,
but did he win it last year?
he had to have.
Let me look at the year because if he did coach it if he got it last year, then you're
Who's
right. I
the
should switch it.
coach in the
Oh,
Magic?
he did get it last year. Um, so who should we get? Who should we have for coach of the year?
I don't know what Jamal Mosley.
You're gonna have to tell me which team.
Magic.
Huh.
I looked that up. Magic.
Oh, okay. I could see that. Yeah, if they're a top 3 seed, I could definitely see that. The Nuggets have a new head coach, right?
Oh, he's actually betting favorite. Funny.
Oh, that's interesting.
Wait,
Yeah,
where's Quinn Snyder? I know all of
he's
these
on the Hawks.
names.
Quinn Snyder's on the Hawks.
Okay, and where is JB Bickerstaff? Is he the Hornets?
JB
Or
Bickerstaff.
was
No, he's not on the Hornets. JB Bickerstaff is on
the
the
Pistons?
Pistons, yeah. Because
Wasn't
he was
am I
on
crazy or
Cleveland.
was he
He was on Cleveland.
who's the Hornets coach?
The Hornets coach is the former
No,
Celtics player.
got it. Maybe I just remember that from talking with Barton, talking about JB Bickerstaff.
Probably.
I conflate.
I wouldn't hate JB Bickerstaff as coach of the year. I feel like he would do a good job.
Yeah. They'd have
Who's
to like really take a step forward.
Kenny Atkinson is the Cleveland head coach, right?
He's not even on here. I'm
Really?
just looking at like the top 15 by odds.
That's surprising. So the Cleveland Cavaliers, if they win, like close to 60 games, why wouldn't he get it?
They just
Um,
did. It really should be most improved team just wins coach of the year.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless you have a team like the Thunder who's just wins 65 games.
All right, I'll switch it to the to the Magic's head coach. Who was that?
You liked the Hawks too. Jamal Mosley.
Oh, Quinn. Yeah, we can do Quinn Snyder. Let's do that. I like him more. Okay, 6th man of the year. I've already bet this. It's plus 750. Sorry, 7,500. Lonzo Ball for the Cleveland Cavaliers. If they win enough games.
Nice.
He has never been healthy. He can stay healthy if you play a bunch of games. I guess he needs to play 65. He's going to be a contributor for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's going to be passing a lot. He's going to be playing great defense. And he was on the Bulls past couple years. Like it's time for him to shine. It's time for him to get some points. And normally it goes to the highest scorer off the bench, which is annoying. But I feel like he's going to be a real contributor. There's a lot of people in front of him on the odds list are going to play starting minutes quite a bit. So it's going to be hard for him to vote for it. But yeah, Lonzo Ball. And then most improved, I'm torn in between two second-year guys, which isn't I guess Brandon Miller's a third-year guy. So yeah, I'm going to go with Brandon Miller because normally they don't give it to a second-year guy. I had Montez Bucelis as my other most improved player, but Brandon Miller, time to step up. It's time to take the Hornets at least close to the playoffs. And I feel like if he's like that type of guy where like he could start scoring 24 a game. I wouldn't be surprised.
Mhm.
And then that would put him in the most improved earnings. So Giannis, Cooper Flag, Brandon Miller, Wemby, Lonzo Ball, and now Quinn Snyder after realizing that OKC got it last year. And then the finals matchup, hate to do this, but I'm going OKC Cavs. Knowing this, I want to see the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets can do it. Can go back there, and I think the Clippers can do it too. The Clippers took the Nuggets to 7, and then the Nuggets took the Thunder to 7. So I think the Thunder can get beaten. It's just looking at this preseason, while it's all on paper, they are losing right now as I'm talking. But while it's all on paper, it's hard to bet against the OKC Thunder. It's hard to imagine how they can't figure out ways around all these other teams. My hope is that the West. I think there's enough good teams in the West that one of them else will make it out. We've gone 2 hours officially. Thank you all for listening, and we'll keep some more basketball updates. We'll continue with football, of course. But next week we did an extra long one. I am going to be in Columbia to watch their butts get whooped by Alabama. So thank you for listening.